I'm great, Andrew. Thanks for having me on. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well. Listen, we're talking about finding your why, and I feel like it's a topic that can really change someone's life.
Absolutely. It's such an important concept. What do you think makes why so powerful in our lives?
Well, for me, it's all about motivation and purpose. When we know why we're doing something, it gives us the drive to keep going even when things get tough.
Exactly. And I believe that having a clear why can help us make better decisions too.
Definitely. Like, imagine you want to start a business. If your why is about giving back or helping people, you might be more driven and less likely to give up even when sales aren't great.
True story. I used to struggle with staying focused on my goals until I found my why. For me, it was about empowering women through education.
That's such a powerful reason. How did that change your approach?
It made everything clearer. I started seeing every small step like writing articles or networking as part of a bigger mission to make a difference.
Same here. Once I realized my why was about making technology accessible to everyone, it changed how I work and interact with people in the tech industry.
It's like having a North Star guiding you through life. But where do we find our whys?
Sometimes it's right there in front of us, but we need to take time to reflect on what really matters. For me, it was talking to mentors and thinking deeply about my passions.
That sounds like a great start. What advice would you give someone who's trying to find their why?
Start by exploring your interests and values. Ask yourself what gets you excited or where you can make a real impact.
Good point. And don't rush it, right? It might take some time to figure out.
Exactly. Patience is key. Plus, keep an open mind because your why could evolve over time as well.
Definitely. Your why isn't set in stone. It can change and grow with you.
That's true. So, let's wrap this up by encouraging our listeners to dive deeper into what really matters to them.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing your thoughts on finding that special why, Andrew.
My pleasure, Ava. Let's keep the conversation going about how we can all make a difference in our lives and the lives of others through our whys.
Agreed.
So, Ava, we're talking about why, right? It's this whole huge thing everyone keeps talking about, but it feels so abstract. Like, what is your why? What does it even mean to find yours?
Honestly, Andrew, it's the absolute core of it all, I think. For me, it's not about a grand, earth-shattering ambition. It's about recognizing why I do what I do, even on the days it feels like a slog. It's the feeling that whatever I'm contributing, whether it's crafting a product, helping a client, or even just organizing my kitchen, has some genuine value. It started with wanting to make a difference, really small, but it's grown into a need to feel aligned with my efforts.
That's a really good way to put it. It's not always about changing the world, is it? I spent a good chunk of last year chasing this idea of building a massive online empire, and it was just exhausting. I was so focused on the what, the money, the status, that I completely ignored the why. It felt empty, you know?
Absolutely. The what is just a means to an end. And a really common mistake is to let external validation, like followers, investment, become your why. That's a recipe for disaster. It's so fragile. My why isn't tied to numbers. It's tied to the impact I see, even if it's small. Like a client telling me my work helped them overcome a challenge.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So how do you actually find this why? Because sometimes I feel like it's buried under a mountain of distractions and just noise. Is there a process?
There isn't really a process, at least not one you can force. It's more about introspection. I started journaling a lot, just asking myself why I was doing things. Not just why am I doing this task, but why is this important to me? And actively seeking out what genuinely motivates me. It's about digging past the pressure to be productive.
So, vulnerability, maybe? Like, admitting you don't actually want to do something, but you're doing it because you feel you should?
Exactly. That's a huge part of it. Recognizing those shoulds is crucial. Then, really asking yourself what's driving that should? Sometimes the why is uncovering a core value, like creativity, connection, service, and then figuring out how to align your actions with it.
I've been thinking a lot about this lately, and I think you're hitting on something really important. It's not about external goals, it's about internal alignment. It's about connecting with your deepest desires and values.
It's so much easier when you're clear on what matters to you. It's also important to be kind to yourself. Finding your why isn't a one-time thing. It evolves as you grow and learn. Don't get discouraged if it shifts.
That's a really good point. I think a lot of people try to find their why as this fixed, definitive statement, and it's more fluid, isn't it? Like a compass, always pointing you in a general direction.
Precisely. It's more about having a guiding principle, a reason to get out of bed each morning. And honestly, sometimes your why can be as simple as I want to feel good about what I'm doing. That's a perfectly valid starting point.
Okay, so let's say someone's feeling completely lost. Like, they have no idea where to even start looking. What's one small action they could take today to begin uncovering their why?
I'd say, spend 15 minutes reflecting. No pressure, no judgment. Just write down everything you enjoy, everything you're good at, and what feels meaningful to you. Then, circle the things that genuinely excite you, even if they seem small. It's about sparking curiosity.
That feels much less daunting than, a huge life overhaul. I think that's a fantastic starting point. It's about starting small and trusting the process. Do you think it's possible to have multiple whys? Like, could someone have a different why for different parts of their life?
Absolutely. It's totally normal and even beneficial. Your why for your career might be different from your why for your relationships or hobbies. The important thing is that they're all aligned and contribute to a sense of purpose. It's layering your motivations.
That makes so much sense. This has been really insightful. Ava, I think I'm finally starting to grasp the core of what you're talking about. It's about finding that underlying motivation that gives everything meaning.
My pleasure, Andrew. And remember, the journey of finding your why is just as important as the destination. It's a continuous process of self-discovery.
I've always wondered, do you think it's possible for someone to find their why without having a clear direction in life?
Absolutely. Our why can evolve over time as we grow and learn more about ourselves and the world around us.
But isn't it kind of hard to start looking for something when you're not even sure what's missing? Like, do you have to know exactly what your passion is before you can start searching?
Not necessarily. Sometimes it starts with a feeling or a sense of restlessness that tells us there's more to life than what we're currently doing.
That makes sense. I've been in situations where I felt like something was missing, but I didn't know what it was. It wasn't until later, looking back on those moments, that I realized they were actually clues to my why.
Exactly. Those early signs can be subtle, but if we pay attention to them, we can start to uncover our underlying motivations and values.
What role does self-reflection play in finding your why? Do you think it's more about introspection or external exploration?
I think a combination of both. We need to explore our interests and values, but also take time to reflect on our emotions, experiences, and relationships.
That makes sense. It's easy to get caught up in the external world and forget to look within.
Yes, that's why self-care and mindfulness are so important. They help us tune into our inner voices and listen for those subtle whispers of what we truly want.
I've heard some people say that your why is unique to you, like a personal mantra or purpose statement. Do you believe that?
Absolutely. Your why should be a reflection of who you are as an individual, with all its strengths and weaknesses.
That's reassuring, because if I had a generic why, it wouldn't feel truly authentic to me.
Exactly. Your why is what sets you apart and gives your life meaning.
So how do we know when we've finally found our why? Is there a specific moment or feeling that indicates it?
That's the million-dollar question. Sometimes it's a sense of clarity. Other times it's a feeling of excitement or purpose. But ultimately, you'll know it when you feel it.
I think that's what makes this topic so fascinating. Everyone's journey is different.
Absolutely. And that's what makes finding your why such an incredible adventure.